back into the whiskey reviews has been a bit of a hassle. Been trying to, I went out, got a bottle of the Balvenie, did a review, too much background noise, had to can it. And I went out and got a bottle of Aberlour, which is already open. I will edit in opening scenes. Again, noise, and when I went to go get it, I forgot my cup and had to buy a new cup on the fly, which was not good for tasting whiskey. So I'm back in the backyard. That's just the way things work out. Here we got Aberlour 12. This is not the Aberlour 10 that I'm familiar with. We'll try to do our best. Yeah, that's a tough go pour. That's the I need a drink. That's the I need a drink pour. So, here we are, Aberlour. So the glass I got was this rum glass. I'll edit in another picture of it here-ish. And it was far too tall to be able to properly smell whiskey. So, redoing it. I'll get back to the Balvenie next month. And hopefully won't get barked at by a neighbor dog the whole time, because that's what the noise was. There was and it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't a loud dog. It was just when the dog would bark, my phone would do a thing and home in on the sound of the barking dog, and couldn't even hear me sometimes. Anyway, here we go. Aberlour 12. It claims to be aged in American oak and sherry oak. It is a Speyside. Okay, yeah, that is nice and creamy. The creaminess, I've learned recently, can come from the barley and not like the oak or anything like that. I do often myself associate creamy flavors with rich oak. It's a deep pour. It's a Shelley pour. For those who know, they know. Very creamy. It has a softness to it that undercuts the sharpness of the alcohol. It's surprisingly sharp. And I mean, this stuff here, it's about 70 CAD, but over in the UK, it's like 36. So it seems like it's a mid-range in terms of its pricing. And it has a bit of a sharp booziness to the alcohol. I find it neither peppery nor citrusy, but rather sharp and slightly boozy. Yeah, I'm spelling up way too much in the pour there for a swirl. Creamy, sharp. The oak seems faint. It is there. We got to dig for it a bit. The creaminess and the sharpness are overriding a lot of the other notes. Yeah, it's like creamy, richness, sharp. Hints of oak, and then beneath the hint of oak there is the fruity sherry cask. So it's quite complex. But it rides the creaminess and the sharpness up front. It is slightly spicy. The sharpness again is overriding the spiciness. The sharpness and the creaminess take control. All right, stuck my nose up its ass long enough. Let's have a sip. Oh, that was a big sip. Okay, what hits you first is the woodiness. It's not like oaky. It's actually kind of a cheap woodiness. It tastes like it tastes like pencils instead of like rich oak. After that first sip, after sipping and then going back to the nose, you do get a sense of the malt. Slightly oily, semi-dry, semi-sweet. I usually find most whiskey is somewhat sweet. It's not like sugary sweet, it's like grain sweet. Semi-sweet, semi-dry, mostly oily. Fortunately, it does come across as being a bit sharp and boozy. What percentage is that? 40%. I would have expected that from a higher percentage. I've had higher percentage whiskeys that do not taste as boozy. Still rich and creamy on the nose. It's kind of spicy. It's got that boldness. It's weird because it's like a mid-range single malt trying to be like a mid-range rye. Like it's almost like the guys who were making this weren't trying to give their dram a Scotch profile and make it spicier like rye. As much as it says it's aged in sherry oak, it's not coming through for me at all. Getting more of the American oak, which is comes through like a cheap pencil. Makes me wonder if it's second or third fill American oak barrels. And I gotta mention the barreling in this, single malt Scotch whiskey from Speyside is not that much better than the barreling you get in Canadian Club 12. I would have expected more from a single malt. Yeah. Overall, it's not very inspiring. I don't think I need to take too much time with this one. I can just round it out and kind of put a pin in it and be so bold as to say it is a Speyside single malt that is masquerading as a cheap rye. It's mostly creamy like you would expect of a barley single malt, but then after that it just kind of falls apart. The barreling tastes kind of cheap, like a cheap pencil. They may have used reused barrels, either first or second or even third fill. I'm not sure though, but that's just what my tongue is telling me. And the boldness and spiciness is more indicative of a rye grain than a barley, and so that's why That's why I go so far as to classify it as a run-of-the-mill single malt masquerading as a cheap rye. There it is. I should not have poured a glass this deep because I'm finding it to be a bit of a struggle to pound through it. Ooh. Yeah. Gotta admit, I really enjoy. I have fond memories of the Aberlour 10, which apparently at the LCBO you can't get anymore. You can only get the 12. And, if they swapped out the 10 for the 12, I think they took away the good one and gave us the bad one. Because, this is not... I mean, I know it's the 10 versus the 12, but you would think the 12 would have more going for it than the 10. But when memory serves, it's the 10 that's much better. That stands as like a toffee, creamy, rich, Speyside single malt. Where this, it's not. It's not that. It's not the 10. And like I said, it comes across more as a cheap rye than a Speyside single malt. So that being said, I'm gonna pound this back and call it a day. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would admit I have fond memories of the 10, and this 12 is just not there. Not at all. Well, it can't all be winners, right? In any event, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Stay warm and dry out there.